Who's thinking about you now? If you were building a wall, or who would tear it all down and pull you through? Or who's thinking about you?
Welcome to Thoughts. I'm your host, Josie James. And if you're still watching the show, you're going, why is he still in the air? So, we're actually talking about going off of, because I know I told you what some of the prior topics were, as far as we're ready to work on one on racism, and I can't remember what the other one is right now, I'm brain dead. But right now we're going to be talking about something that's just happened that is affecting most of the American public more than they realize, the Congressional shutdown. And real quick, because of prior episode, as some of you may have read the comment where I was called Mr. Captain Faggot. As I've said before, yes, I'm fabulous, and I don't care. And to the guy who made the comment, hey, if you want to interview on my show about something you think is important, like you think I'm doing harassment, and you happen to be here in Columbus, Ohio, look me up.
It's not hard to find, trust me.
In fact, if you have any other comments that you'd like to make out of your racist, although it isn't quite racist, as far as I know, it could be a black guy. Bigoted, okay. One, as I said before, if you watch the prior shows, you'll see that there's more than one topic, and I don't put up with someone lying on my show. And that's what the girl did. Okay, and apparently she's lied for a long time, so get over it, get used to it. Okay, because she agreed to do the show, so I can talk about it all day long. Now, on to something more important. As you all know, this, of course, is my friend Kenny, and as you know, he is a vet. This is Kim, who's a house mother. She works. She tries to take care of her 3 kids by herself. Okay, and they're little demon spawn. But the Congressional shutdown, as far as all the things that are being affected, she's being affected, Ken's being affected, everybody has a possibility of being affected more than you think. And the sad thing is, please do not be listening to Fox News. It is not the president's fault when they were the ones rooting it on in the first place.
And CNN.
Okay. Let's shut down the government. That makes a lot of sense when you think about all these elderly people who are dependent on their Social Security, food stamps, their kids, all types of things. So before you say, oh, it's a good thing, think about that again. Okay, and all the things that you depend upon. So I'm going to turn this over to you guys, and I'm going to kind of, because that is not as comfortable as I thought it was.
Come on here, dude.
Okay.
Power around, y'all.
Okay. Now, we are going to, I'm sorry, I stepped on your foot. I'm bad. Shame on me. Okay. Now, Kim, you want to start about how this is starting to affect you?
Okay. I'm a single mother. I have 3 kids. I work upwards of 60 hours a week. I have a healthcare job that, even with the Affordable Care Act, insurance for me and my children is $190 a paycheck. I don't make as much as people seem to think I do. I'm very low on the totem pole. I don't have an RN or anything. I only have an STNA. And because of that, I rely heavily on food stamps to feed my children. They have just dropped me down, because of the government shutdown, to, even if I were to go to a place like Save-A-Lot or Aldi's, I'd maybe get 3 or 4 days worth of food. Maybe. If I did it right and I stretched it, nobody's allowed to have seconds. My daughter has a mild disability. She does get a disability payment for it. It pays for her therapies through her school. It pays for her Medicaid. We're losing all of that. And her therapies are $200 or $300 a month. I'm losing my insurance as a parent. As her parent, I get a small Medicaid, and I'm losing that. My boys are losing their insurance because some old white-haired bastard in Washington, pardon my French.
Well, you're using nice language compared to what I've been using.
Yeah. Just because they're acting like a bunch of 16-year-old spoiled brats.
Now, one thing I want to add on this, strange enough, Well, as we know, the whole thing is about the GOP wanting their way with the American, or the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Yes, people, they're one and the same. And this is for you that are religious-minded. I hope you're not Catholic. Apparently, the American Catholic bishops apparently just sent off a letter to the GOP thanking them for going into government shutdown because they wanted the Affordable Care Act to remove
Birth control.
But as far as birth control, yeah. So as they're still trying to involve themselves in the woman's ovaries. So if any of you bishops are actually watching my show, don't ever get in my face. That's her body, not yours, you pervert. You took a vow of celibacy. Stop worrying about what she's doing with her vajayjay. Okay.
Or who she has doing things to her vajayjay.
Well, sometimes it's not always, what's wanted just because a woman doesn't want to have kids or doesn't want to do it. Sometimes it's medically warranted. I didn't want to have the inside of my uterus burnt into a crispy, scar tissue mess, but with a combination of endometriosis and pneumogoria, it happens. You have to. Medically, I was bleeding enough every month to warrant needing a transfusion, and I could not raise my kids that way. I can't constantly be in the hospital because I'm too weak to even stand because I'm just bleeding too much. I had no real choice. It was either live with it and not deal with it and continue to be sick every month, have periods that lasted up to 15 days, or do something about it and make it so that way it's not completely gone, but I'm considered more normal. And I'm able to get up and not have to worry about passing out because blood loss has made me dizzy. It's an awful thing. And it's not every woman just wants to, not have kids and not do anything. Some know when it's not right for them. And I commend them for knowing it's not right for them. And some, like me, have a medical reason. They don't have a lot of choices in the matter. I understand where the church and where everybody else is coming from with the, the whores out there just, I don't want to get pregnant because my 4 boyfriends won't like it. Well, quit fucking spreading your legs. If you have a good reason for it, then by all means, use your good reason. But if you want it just so that way you can be a little slut, then...
Hey, I resemble that remark, but I can't get pregnant.
Well, I'm not worried about you. They're not banning condoms yet, so...
But that's coming.
Yeah.
Well, they can try. We'll just go back to doing what the Amish used to and using a sheepskin.
I'll pass. I've tried it before.
Hey.
It's not comfortable.
It may not be comfortable. Just remember to take it out of the sheep first, okay?
Okay. Now, as I said, on the Congressional today, it's not just, as I said, it is affecting everyday normal people already. Now, thankfully, President Obama is trying to make sure things do not affect us. And one of the things I will give him praises up, Mr. Obama, you're one of the few honest politicians I've seen in the office, and you need to go with Wendy Davis and Elizabeth Warren, and y'all need to just go through and start beating up Republicans. I'd actually cheer that on.
Well, actually, sometimes he might need to lay it down to pinch his hand on some of his own Democratic motherfuckers. Damn, there's no.
Okay, now I will warn ahead of time, unfortunately, because their tempers are a little high on this. And I unfortunately know people who are elderly that depend upon their Social Security. They get SSI and SSDI. And without it, they don't have any savings, so how are they going to pay the next month's rent? How are they going to keep themselves fed? How are they going to pay for the utilities? Okay, now I think Obama's trying to make sure that that's still going through too, but he's having to, and the Congress people that have stayed in, talking about, no, we're here to work, I don't care, so I think they ought to just hold the votes without the guys that are in. They're not sure for work, we're voting, You know, so I think that's the best way to handle that.
That'd make it easier.
Yeah, make it easier. So, hey, Tiddly 1, Tiddly 2, and Tiddly 3 didn't show up. Well, how are they going to vote on this anyways? Well, they were going to vote against. They're not here to vote.
Well, that means
they're absentee ballots. So
no, they lost the right to vote at that point.
exactly. Now, as far as you know what's going on as far as veterans benefits goes, but you just found out some interesting news on that today too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting though. Like I go and pick my mom up for work. I take her to work. God love her. But as of recently, like a lot of things that have been hitting the news has been the government will not pay to have fallen soldiers shipped back here stateside for the funeral. If the families want to go ahead and pay out, let's say, I don't know, $5,000 to have their loved one shipped back, it's kind of shitty, don't you think? You know, after all, they went over and died for these old bigots. Old bigots that are sitting there bickering like two old women bitching over a pair of shoes.
Now mine will go greatly with my blue hair.
Exactly.
Uh,
But
I'd rather have them go greatly with a pearl necklace, but that's just me.
Okay, now we're talking about fashion. Joe, got any tips for fashion?
$1,000,001, always look fabulous.
But the interesting part about it is
Now, what did Mr. Obama say today about this stuff?
he will not let the veterans or anybody in the military, regardless of whether you are currently serving, whether you're a veteran, or whether you're a family member, anybody who's lost somebody overseas, they will be the first ones taken care of. So the veterans benefits, they're intact so far. The current active duty servicing military, love you brothers, stay safe. They're going to be getting their paychecks, which is good. It's about time that they start sitting there saying, "Hey, we've taken so much from these guys. Let's give something back to them." But I know a plan how we can solve all this. I know it's crazy, but
You mean the senator and the Congress people who are trying to, so to speak, have a shutdown, take their pay and give it to them?
oh, far worse, my brother. Freeze all their accounts and don't pay them.
Well, it's already happened. They're not being paid. Okay, now we're going to unfortunately have to wrap this up because there's a
Or
movie-
just take a break because I'm not missing American Horror Story.
Okay, yeah. Apparently there's. So we're going to take a brief break on this. I'll be doing the interlude thingy on this, and we will be back after this.
Thank you.
Who's thinking about you now? If you were building a wall, or who would tear it all down and pull you through? Or who's thinking?
Okay, and we're back. As I said, we did a brief interlude, so she watched American Horror Story. But Kevin, interesting series. I'm gonna have to try and keep watching that.
It's very good.
Okay. Now we're back to talking about the congressional. We're back to talking about the congressional shutdown that's currently going on, and hopefully it won't be going on much longer before it starts to affect the elderly, children who need food, various little programs that under discretionary spending.
Even the service members, man, they can only guarantee it for so long. That's the problem. How can you pay your bills if you ain't got the money to pay the bills? You can't sit here and fucking rob Peter to pay Paul.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, that's what the U.S. has been doing. Borrow money from China, borrow money from Germany, borrow money from Tom, Dick, and Harry. What are you going to do about it?
I think it's funny that they're borrowing money from people that they've shut down military life
Yeah.
to run the military.
No, the other sad thing is, there's so much spending that's going on that isn't necessary. As far as one, don't cut back on soldiers' pay, but cut down on how many nuclear warheads do we really need? And, do we really need another 157 Marines? Do we need to keep giving tax cuts to the 1% richest people in the world who don't need the tax cuts?
Well, it's like you're trying to sit here and tell somebody, hey, you have $5, I've got $100, but my burrito costs $10. I'm going to take your $5. That's exactly what it's coming down to.
And unfortunately, that's what the little Tea Party is about.
Check-offs.
Yeah. I still can't get over they've actually got a couple of black members. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure what isn't. I still love the fact that they call themselves the Tea Party, like they're actually patriotic instead of a bunch of greedy, rich slobs. Psychos! Yeah, I do find that intriguing. And that's the bad thing. Well, as one thing I read, kind of things like if it had been called Reagan Care, would these GOP idiots be busy trying to defund it?
Yes. Because when Lyndon B. Johnson brought about the new health care reform in 1972, the Republicans tried to stop it.
And Reagan was a Republican, which is the bad part.
When the new health care reform by Reagan was brought in 1984, the Republicans and the Democrats tried to stop it. When HIPAA was brought in 1995 by Bill Clinton, everybody tried to stop it because it's just tyrannical. We can't do this. That's not allowed. If we do this, healthcare is just going to go to shit. And I'm sorry, I kind of like my information private, so yay Clinton. And, I mean, COBRA may not be the cheapest form of healthcare out there, but it was still a standardized set that was meant to get to working blue class members healthcare when no one else was able to afford it because, oh, I'm sorry, you had a welding accident at work and chopped off 3 fingers, that's a pre-existing condition. We can't do that. And it demanded that because it was from work, they'd still get their benefits. They'd still get health care. And every time something like this happens, every 20 to 30 years, we come to a health care reform, and something like this happens, we can't do it. It's not allowed. It's too radical. It's just not going to work. Whoa. It's working.
Yeah, I was like, what was it, the owner of Papa John crying about he can't afford, and it breaks down to apparently 11 cents extra on the pizza, which he's already making 80% profit on each pizza made, even the $5 ones. You know, and that is counting overhead, that is counting salaries, that is counting everything. That's 80% profit. You know, and that's actually most companies, strangely enough, you're paying, say, $1.25 for that can of pop. It costs them maybe 5 cents to make it in overhead. And that's the entire breakdown. So they can't afford to give their... That's why I always cheer on the owner of Costco. I'm trying to think of his name. He's actually one of those responsible rich men who...
She.
No, it's a guy.
Oh, the guy took over?
Yeah, it's been. That's why Costco is so... why there's so many people who love to work for him, because he makes sure you start off at a day you already have health, medical, the whole 9 yards, stepping in.
Like all this.
Yeah, you step into it and you've got full coverage already. You know, and he, and if you need time off for something, as long as it's legitimate, they check. Go, hey, your mother's in the hospital, you're having a baby. You happen to be the husband, but you're having a baby. Go, be with the wife. He cares about his employees, and it's actually. And then also, I will say this: one of the things, there are some millionaires and billionaires who do take this seriously about you take care of your workers, you take care of your workers take care of you. But unfortunately, there are these clodhoppers who are, oh no, I can't buy my 50th limousine without being, oh no, I need a tax break, I need,
or a 32nd Ferrari.
300th, yeah. And mind you, it's just, how many cars could you possibly need? Do you need one for every day of the year? Well,
yeah, it's like these people go out and buy like 100,000 pairs of shoes. You got one pair of feet, all you need is a pair of sneakers, you need a pair of flippity-flops, you need a pair of work boots, and you need a pair of dress shoes. That is it.
Hey, screw you, I happen to like my shoe form,
exactly.
And you don't complain.
And hold on.
Why should I? I'm not wearing them.
No,
and hold it.
sure,
I've got more than one pair of shoes myself. So, well, as far as taste and fashion goes, As you can afford it, go for it. But there's nothing wrong with learning how to buy cheap. Okay, but as far as government spending goes, there are things that they're spending on we don't need in this country.
Bunch of bullshit pork belly spending, period.
Yeah, it's like really. Well, one thing I ran across, and this is strangely enough from a conservative, who I normally disagree with because he's all behind the Tea Party. But he actually brought forth, oh, wait a minute, what if Congress had to get a normal salary? They couldn't, and just break it down, but this is all, they can't let themselves pay raises, they can't, because, hey, there's a lot of spending going on there that they don't deserve. What they get as far as health care is ridiculous.
They get it's better health care than our own soldiers get.
Yeah. And on top of that, there are still promises that were made to veterans and soldiers that are still being broken to this day. You know, that, oh, well, we're going to do all this for you. And then they go through all this and they find out it was a pack of, none of the promises are being kept. And it's something, strange enough, I think Obama's trying to step forward that that's the next step. He's trying to get those promises kept. You know, and because and it just makes you mad to see, you know, as we said, Fox News, GOP, and, oh, it's his fault. Why?
They're so like
Because you're
like
fucking
$1,000
racist.
a day just to sit in a room and argue with people.
You know,
I want that job. I would kill for that job. The only problem is I'm too fucking honest for it.
you, sir, are a bullshitting liar. You, sir, need to remove your substantia from the chamber. Go frolic with the young dumbasses out in the street. Go have fun.
Play in traffic, make sure you get hit by a semi. And hit by the back wheel.
Yeah, so that's what I think of what a lot of people need to do nowadays, because we're seeing it as far as Congressional shutdown. Because, oh, and Mr., I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name right, but it sounds right as far as I said, Mr. Boner. Boner.
Bonehead.
Bonehead, yeah. And so far, every picture I've seen, I got to see one good picture taken of him. He's always looking like I'm a sourpuss. My wife and boyfriend don't put out. The last thing I read, apparently there are those wanting to go back and go ahead and vote on this and say, okay, let's take the step. And they're trying to do the responsible thing. And he's the one actually right now stopping the vote.
Then if he's not going to perform the job, he's not going to move forward, then he needs to be replaced with a quickness.
Yeah. And right now, I would even agree to Sarah Palin and replace him.
Oh, dear God, no. The country is not that
Wait. Sarah Palin or Tina Fey? Sarah Palin.
I would go for Tina Fey.
Yeah, Tina Fey, actually, yes. Tina Fey for office. Because even though she played Sarah Palin, the woman's actually got some brains. She didn't say something like, I can see Russia from my backyard. What's that got to do with anything?
Did quite a few times, but I'm pretty sure she was trying not to catch herself laughing at the same time.
Yeah, well, I think one of the funniest things that Sarah Palin ever said, and who knew Katie Couric was I'm quoting Robin Williams here, but who knew Katie Couric was the cutting edge of journalism when she asked her the question, what type of books do you read? And apparently it's a trick question. Oh? Yeah, I can tell you what type of books I read, and there's no trick question there.
Oh, man, being the governor of Alaska is like being the principal of a freaking homeschool. Come on, let's just be honest about it.
And
It's not fair. I kind of homeschool one of my kids.
oh, he's only 4. Well, what do you expect? He's 4. There's nothing wrong with homeschooling a 4-year-old.
There is something wrong with homeschooling a 4-year-old. When I went to go get him enrolled in Head Start, and because of all this bullshit, it closed.
But then what would you do with that to your youngest little terrorist running around driving you nuts?
Clean my house and get the laundry done.
Okay, yes. Okay, she has a good point.
Well, no, so you can still do all that stuff. It's just...
I see places that you can put hooks on, and we know he has that little leash. You hook him up on that, he's swinging around up out of the way.
And he's got a little Yoda monkey on his back, so he's good.
Yeah, you just have to get a strong enough hook, up he goes, and then you can walk by spinning around, and he giggles, you're good to go.
No.
That is daycare done properly.
Yes.
That is daycare done redneck. Sorry.
No.
Wait a minute.
No,
There's 2 out of the 3 of us sitting here are rednecks.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot I'm a redneck faggot. Oh, God. Okay.
Well, oh dear Lord, Mr. Jones, I did not know you was a switch hater.
Oh, God, that's over my... There's a reason why I said
So
this.
basically, as long as it's part of the trace trunk, it's okay.
Hey, if he's swinging on Louisville Slugger Wood, man, by all means, dude. If it gets your home runs off, man, by all means, knock the ball
No,
out.
look at the woodpecker. He might freeze alone.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus.
Okay, yes, you've just seen the host, Josie James, totally going, I'm supposed to be the king and innuendo. I'm sorry, I haven't met the queen. I bow, yes. Okay.
That's not the only thing she's the queen of.
I don't want to know. Anyway.
Well, you were
Dude.
bowing quite happily last night.
Well, that's a personal opinion.
Okay, we're getting off topic here.
Yes.
Oh, God. And people wonder why I like hanging around. Oh. Okay.
Craziness and insanity at its finest.
Now, oh yes, the Congressional shutdown. That's what we were talking about. Okay, yeah, as you can tell, we're just having a little bit too much fun here.
Oh, screw that shit. You can never have too much fun.
Okay. I don't get enough fun. Okay.
That's what she did.
No, I said I don't get enough. Never mind.
Okay, yes.
Congressional shutdown. Congressional shutdown.
Okay. I mean, like, there's so many issues that I am seeing, and it's just shocking me to see that. Well, like, as I said with the bishops on the current pope, I'm not Catholic, but apparently he said, enough of this. We need to try and get people back in the church. Let's stop worrying about this. It's not our jobs. Our jobs is to preach and to teach, and we're not supposed to be messing with laws in countries. We're supposed to stand
We
for
are
example.
shepherds. We're to bring our sheep to the Lord's feet.
And not tell them what they can do in their personal time. So, you know, that's still. Oh, and here's a little surprise. Apparently, guess who was one of the other people behind this little American shutdown? The Westboro Baptist Church. How they got involved in this, I do not know. I thought everybody knew. There's that church. Are we allowed to super glue the door shut with Vaseline and just light it with everybody inside? And everybody keeps saying, no, I haven't legalized it yet, but I think the fire department right then and there would be off on a picnic. Going, oh, did we get a call?
Dude, they're so fucked up as a church that I've seen so many comics, dude. I swear on my life I can see this happening. Westboro Baptist Church, everybody's trapped inside, burning flames, Superman's flying above, hears their screams, stops, find out that it's Westboro Baptist Church, runs back into the telephone booth, changes into Clark Kent, and goes, Clark Kent, and starts walking on by, whistling Dixie.
Nothing I can do, I'm Clark Kent. You know, so yeah. But
Well, there's plenty he could do. Clark Kent is still a reporter.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, why would you want to report
Look at
that?
the colors, yes.
Why would you even want to report that? That's just
That's
glorifying.
front page happy news.
But here's the
Yes,
but
a whole
thing
bunch
is-
of bigots burn up.
But the thing is, though, like, unless the whole church goes down and just, like, ashes, it's not really good news. It still means you got, like, that one last survivor. But on that note, here's what I say we do for them. We go and protest their funeral.
Oh, that actually sounds like an idea. But yeah, it's sad to say. Now, you think about everything that these people have opposed, including marriage equality. Well, as I said in previous episodes, I'm not calling it gay marriage. To me, it's all, and apparently it's caught on. I don't know if they saw the previous, hey, we like this, or somebody else came up with the same idea that it's not gay marriage, it's marriage equality. And it really is, as far as, if two people love each other, but as long as they're legally consenting adults, who cares if they have the same plumbing? If they're enjoying sharing the same plumbing, who cares?
I don't see what the big problem is. If you really want to get, all over the place, my mom and dad were considered an illegal marriage. They were of a different race.
Yeah, the big issue that's really holding everything up, though, is that it's morals versus legality. And that's exactly what's going on. You cannot intertwine the two.
Here's the thing, though.
Well, but where's the moral issue on that, though?
The moral issue is...
It's not real morals. It's based off of somebody's interpretation of this, and somebody else's religion says this, and there's supposed to be separation of church and state. These people aren't hurting anybody. Nobody's hurting anybody. Well, they might be hurting each other. It's not, ooh, spank me again. But other than that, yeah, that's consenting.
Well, I'm talking about the Congressional shutdown with all this, because Democrats want to give women the right to sit here and say, hey, what, my $5...
I'm woman, hear my pussy roar.
Probably not all that, but
And they want to say you don't have the right, or you want control of your pussy, and then then there's the
well,
female
you know what? When
Congress
they
people who are
have
going,
my
I'm going to
kids-
kick your butt after this. And
Here's my take on that. When they have my labor pains, when they have my hemorrhaging that nearly killed me after having my children, when they have my out of whack, where even a doctor who has been in the field for 50 years looks at me and goes, how has your vagina not killed you yet? Period. When they have the pain that is so bad that I literally drop to my knees and I can no longer move,
just for just a second. No, there's a reason.
then
Okay, we're still good.
they can say that they have something to do with my body and my health care.
well, see, here's the thing, though. It's like you have the Democrats that are saying, hey, we want to give women the right to claim birth control on the health insurance, but the Republicans are looking at the nickels and dimes and cents on it. But at the
It's
same,
cheaper to buy a woman a $22, and that is top price, $22 pack of birth control pills than it is to pay the $15,285 birthing of a child, not including any complications. When I had each one of my kids, they sent me a bill, despite the fact that I had insurance at the time and my insurance covered everything. I still got the bill because I hemorrhaged with the oldest, because I almost needed a blood transfusion, and once they took it out of the reserve bank, they could not put it back, because I had to have a bunch of blood clotting drugs to keep me from bleeding out of my hoo-ha. Because
we're all adults here. You can call it a vagina.
No, we don't know if kids might be watching the show.
Because
Well, then that's just bad parenting, but that's a whole
because
other
I had
episode.
opted to nurse, and I was in a Catholic hospital, and at the last minute, due to all the drugs that they had given me to keep me alive, I was not allowed to nurse my son until he was 2 days old, and they had to give him formula instead. My bill went from the standard $15,000 birthing bill to over $23,000. That's not including his circumcision. That is not including his typical, first 3 day shots and his eye creams and his ointments and all the other stuff that comes with a normal, healthy birth.
Well, now, as far as I'm concerned, circumcision should always be optional. It's something the doctors do automatically. And I'll
No,
where
where I was, luckily, it was optional. They asked if I wanted to do it or not. I had already chose for hygiene reasons. I did want to do it.
That's actually, believe it or not, that's actually a fallacy. As far as it's more hygienic, it's not.
Well, you haven't bathed my child. I have.
Well, you just got to pull a string.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's totally going to let me do that. He doesn't even let me wash his hair.
Well, that's your issue, not mine.
Okay.
I'll let you do it.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now.
Oh, bullshit.
No, because my episodes are only supposed to be so long. And for those at the radio show who I still have not heard back on, I have talked to the gentleman in question on that.
If he keeps clapping, I'm going to start singing Kumbaya.
Anyways, okay. There was a big argument, apparently, with the program directors, the other program directors, about that my shows vary too much in length. And they're worried about, can I handle a full 30 minutes of talking?
Damn right.
I think I can, but my camera can only handle 29. So,
That's what she said.
okay, but this is us, and as I said, I'm your host, Josie James. And as I said before, take a look at both sides of an issue and make the decision for yourself. And don't let some loudmouth idiot like Fox News or CNN or any of them tell you what you're supposed to
Or the
think.
GOP. Any GOP.
Okay, and not even me. If you don't agree with me and you think I'm some type of idiot, look up the facts for yourself and decide for yourself. So this is Josie James saying, think for yourself, and wherever you're at, I hope you enjoyed the show.
Who's thinking about you now? If you were building a wall, or who would tear it all down and pull you through? was thinking about you